Hello, good evening, everybody, and welcome to our first major live game of 2023. It is the FA Cup third round, Manchester United against Everton, and I'm pleased to have with me as our commentators Paul James and Luke Turton, I should say. Good evening to you.
Good evening.
And and Luke, Everton. Everton. It's fair to say they've not had the best of seasons and are currently third from bottom.
Yeah, they've failed to really get going yet this season, and I think apart from that small bit just after their start where they picked up a couple of results, they really have been pretty poor.
Yes, it certainly is. And I actually found out last night that if things don't improve for them, they're looking at a place in the Championship or the second division in old money for the first time since the 53-54 season, and relegation for the first time since 1951. But you have to go back all the way to October 22nd for their last win, 3-0 at home to Crystal Palace, and their last away win was the 1st of October. And I've heard that's because of their underperformance. Frank Lampard's position as manager could be under threat.
Yeah, I'm not surprised at that, Nick, to be honest, because he's not really lit it alight since he's been at Everton. So, you know, if you don't get results, then you will be under threat.
Yep, you certainly will. On the other hand, Erik ten Hag is thriving at Manchester United. The Red Devils, currently fourth in the Premier League, have won every match bar one since October, including a recent six-game unbeaten run in all competitions, and level with Newcastle United on 35 points, behind because Newcastle have played one game more. That doesn't matter to them right now. And because of what Erik ten Hag has been doing, he is looking for his first piece of silverware since taking the job. So could he at least win one trophy for them this season?
Well, it's highly possible, but it all depends on how they approach this game tonight. I mean, you know, if you go far in the FA Cup, then you could have a decent chance. But I honestly wouldn't like to comment so far.
Okay. So we've now got just about 12 minutes. We've now got about 12 minutes to go until kick off. So now's a good time to fetch in our commentator Paul James for any team news and the potential lineup. Good evening to you, Paul.
Good evening, Nick. Good evening, everybody. Well, we actually thought that Manchester United may rest a few players, certainly that Everton may. That's not turned out to be the case, Nick. There has been 4 changes for United. They line up as follows, with David De Gea in goal, Luke Shaw, Raphael Varane, Tyrell Malacia, and Diogo Dalot at the back. Christian Eriksen and Casemiro are in the holding midfield role, with Marcus Rashford, Bruno Fernandes, and a returning Antony in the attacking midfield role. And the centre forward, of course, is Anthony Martial, a very strong team for Manchester United. For Everton, they've gone equally strong with Jordan Pickford in goal, Vitaly Mykolenko, James Tarkowski, Connor Cody, and Ben Godfrey. And Seamus Coleman make a back 5. Amadou Onana returning from injury, Idrissa Gueye, Alex Iwobi are the 3 midfielders, and Damari Gray and Neil Maupay are the 2 frontmen. The only changes being really forced on Everton, of course, is Patterson, who is missing due to injury, and Anthony Gordon also missing because he has a knock as well. So otherwise, you'd be looking at a very strong Everton lineup. And looking at this, after their doomed 4-1 defeat at the hands of Brighton, they really must be looking at bringing some joy to their fans, who, by the way, a collective group of their supporters groups have already sent a letter to the club owner, Farhad Moshri, if I pronounced that right, I'm sorry if I haven't, asking for sweeping changes at chair, board, and executive levels.
Could you possibly clarify what exactly that means?
Well, it basically means a collective group of supporters clubs. As you know, Nick, as football clubs have various different supporters groups within them, have gotten together and sent a letter to the owner at Everton asking for changes at board level. They're not asking for changes at management level. They're asking for changes at board level, at chair level, at executive level.
That makes a bit more sense. But a win will boost the morale for the supporters clubs, the general fans, and indeed the management. Damari Gray was the only goal scorer for Everton in that game against Brighton, and as for both of them, they've met 12 times in the FA Cup out of their 207 matches in total, including the famous final in 1995, where Paul Rideout scored the only goal in that game to secure the win for the Toffees. As for but to get back to Manchester United's lineup, talk about being kept busy, and they're going to have to be, because they must prepare for their League Cup match against Charlton Athletic on Tuesday, and also their following January matches could be crucial to their season, including these games including crucial games against Manchester City and Arsenal. But from what I've been reading so far, that merely isn't enough to break the Red Devils' concentration.
Well, they're looking at they're going to probably have to make changes for the League Cup game, otherwise these group of players are going to be exhausted. But obviously Manchester United are taking the FA Cup very seriously. Now, that's not always been the case in recent years, and I think we can honestly say, as much as we all love the FA Cup, teams don't tend to take this seriously until they get to sort of the fifth round and the quarter-final stage. So it looks like Manchester United are taking this very seriously. This is a good opportunity for them to win a major trophy again. They have won it 12 times, remember?
Yes, indeed. Second highest winners of the FA Cup. What they've got to avoid is a defeat in the fourth round last year. They lost to Middlesbrough on penalties. And as for Everton, they got as far as the quarterfinals last time, only to lose to Crystal Palace, and that was for the second time in a row. They haven't reached the semi-finals since 2016, when funnily enough they faced Manchester United. So in FA Cup terms, gentlemen, I'd have to say Manchester United has been something of a bogey team for Everton.
I think so at major times, Nick. But I mean, the record is 6 wins each for the in the 12 meetings between the two sides. Of course, unfortunately, Manchester United have got the edge in the major games, in most of the major games, with the exception of the 1995 final. They've got the major edge. The last time they met, as you mentioned, was in the FA Cup semi-final. Manchester United won 2-1. Everton a little unlucky that day. They did get an equaliser on 72 minutes from Smalling, but Martial, who is the only survivor in the starting lineup for that Manchester United team, and they have been a bit of a bogey team, but also Manchester United have lost only 2 out of their last 37 third round games. Everton have lost 4 out of their last 14 third round games. So it should be a very interesting game. I mean, we've got a bit of a barn burner here. Despite Everton's poor start to the season, it's a desperate situation for them. A good run in the cup will help to lift their fans, I believe.
Yes, it certainly will. And you have to go all the way back to 2013 when Everton last beat Manchester United away. So, that'll be of little importance to the traveling supporters tonight. Everyone's just about packing into the stadium. We are some 5 minutes away from kickoff, so I'd say now would be a good time to hand over to our commentators, Luke Turton and Paul James. It's all yours.
Thank you, Nick. Good evening, everybody, once again, and welcome to this FA Cup third round tie between Manchester United and Everton. I'm just going to run through the lineups again for you, starting with Manchester United, who are managed by Erik ten Hag. David De Gea in goal, Luke Shaw, Raphael Varane, Tyrell Malacia and Diogo Dalla make up the back four. The two holding midfielders are Christian Eriksen and Casemiro. The three attacking midfielders are Marcus Rashford, Bruno Fernandes and Anthony Martial is in that number 9 role. For Everton, who are managed by the under pressure Frank Lampard, starting as follows with Jordan Pickford in goal, Vitaly Mykolenko, James Tarkowski, Connor Cody and Ben Godfrey, Seamus Coleman make up the back 5. The three midfielders are Amadou Onana, Idrissa Gueye, Alex Iwobi, and the two forward men are Damari Gray and Neil Maupay. Two strong sides. Let's just take a look at the substitutes. For Manchester United, they have Anthony Elanga, Fred, Alejandro Garnacho, Tom Heaton, the substitute goalkeeper, Victor Lindelof, Harry Maguire, Lisandro Martinez, Scott McTominay and Aaron Wan-Bissaka. For Everton, they have Asmir Begovic as their substitute goalkeeper, Dominic Calvert-Lewin, Tom Davis, Abdoulaye Doucouré, Anthony Gordon, Mason Holgate, Dwight McNeil, Yerry Mina and Ellis Sims. Our referee today is Darren England. His assistants are Simon Bennett and Adrian Holmes. Simon Hooper's on fourth official duty today. And yes, we have VAR. Stuart Atwell is in the VAR booth. His assistant is Natalie Aspinall. Luke, what's your thoughts on this one?
Well, I mean, I never know what to expect when you come into the cup, because teams that necessarily aren't performing well like to try and get a bit of a reaction in cup competitions because there's less pressure. You don't really expect to beat sides like Manchester United if you're like Everton. So you'll have to see how the game pans out, to be honest, Paul.
Thank you very much, Luke. Now, as we've discussed already today with Nick, Everton's season has been a disaster so far. Now, you and I are in agreement. We're not in favour of this sacking culture, but do you feel, would you be okay with Frank Lampard, with the way things are going right now? Do you think it's going to help Everton to replace Frank Lampard? And if they do, who do you think that they can realistically get in his stead?
I actually think that the trouble with Everton has been far more deeper than just the management. I mean, they keep changing their managers and getting the same end product. So, as much as I think it's a results-based game, and usually it is the manager's head that goes, I do think it is more down to the recruitment team and also the, like you're saying, the board and the executive levels that are just consistently getting it wrong. But also, I can't see the fans putting up with Frank Lampard's dismal showing for much longer either. As much as they're probably sympathetic to the situation, I think at some point they will call for change somewhere.
Yeah, I think you're right there. I mean, there has been that bond that Frank Lampard has with the fans from last season. We're just looking at him now, and he's cutting the picture of a worried face. He has been very calm in what he has been talking about in the last couple of days. He's not seeking reassurance. He says he believes he can turn it around. But if the damage is, as you say, Luke, from the board level, from the executive level, it has to be said that it's a mountain. It's almost like pushing a big boulder up a hill. and then every day you go back to work, it's back down again. And I feel for him in that situation. I really do.
You see, the easiest way to hide boardroom level trouble is by gaining results on the field. But when you've got that pressure of they're not performing on the pitch, then it just opens up that microscope to say, well, this is going wrong, this is going wrong, X, Y, Z's going wrong. Because at the end of the day, if you're winning, nobody really cares. When you're losing, you can afford, you get that more.
Absolutely. Well, I just want to mention as well today, news came through to us that Gianluca Vialli has passed on and lost his battle with cancer. At this point, I'd just like to take the time from everyone at the commentary hub to offer our deepest condolences to Vialli's family, friends, anyone close to him. Offer our deepest condolences, and may Gianluca Vialli rest in peace. We are about to get underway here, and Everton are wearing all blue, blue shirts, blue shorts, blue socks, tacking the goal to our left, the Stretford end. Manchester United, of course, in their famous red shirts, white shorts, and black socks. So it's going to be a throw-in to Manchester United. That just came off Coleman there. And the throw-in is level with their own 6-yard box. And it's Malacia who is going to take this throw-in. And it's just nodded on by Ericsson. And it's picked up there by Ben Godfrey. But the ball does go out of play. Looks like it came off Rashford. Everton have the throw-in, which Godfrey takes quickly. And already Everton looking at pressing, starting as they mean to go on, as Pickford plays that ball long, looking for Iwobi, but it goes all the way through to David De Gea at the other end. So Everton looking to make a positive impact early on here. Here's Dalot, and he gives it to Varane. Varane, a crossover to Shaw, who's in the centre-back position today. Over on the far side is Malacia. Shaw. He's got the ball back, and he's just in his own half there, sprays it out over to Dalla. And Manchester United now just getting themselves comfortable, just slowing the game down. They'll want to keep it at their level, and just winning the ball in midfield. There's Casemiro. Good work by him. He gives it to Rashford. Rashford over on the far side. He's under pressure there by Gay. Good tackle by Idrissa Gay. Actually, that was Onana. I'm sorry. Onana made the challenge there. And it's going to be a throw into Manchester United, level with the Everton 6-yard box. Casemiro. It's Rashford. Under pressure there, the ball goes out of play, and it's going to be a throw into Everton. Your thoughts early on, Luke?
I mean, neither side have really retained the ball. It's been a little bit frantic. And to be honest, I think if one side settled more, it'd probably be Manchester United. But again, it's a little hard to judge currently on kind of who's on top.
Okay, well, that's Seamus Coleman now got the ball from the throw-in. And that is Idrissa Gay just knocks it back there. And United have picked up the ball on the edge of the area. There's Fernandes. Fernandes to Rashford. He's just inside the Everton penalty area. What can he do with it? Oh, that's a fine challenge by Ben Godfrey. And now Iwobi moving away. And Godfrey slips and United can pick up the ball again. But it's given away. And there is Gay over on the far side to Gray. And Everton moving forward now with Gray. And his pass was blocked. And Casemiro now coming forward. Casemiro, it's Rashford, Martial rather, in the midfield. Martial out on the far side to Rashford. Rashford now, he's got Godfrey in front of him. What can he do with it? Rashford cuts inside, gets the ball across, and it's knocked in. It's a goal, and it's Anthony who has scored it. And Manchester United have got the early goal, and this is the very last thing that Everton needed. Well, defensively, it was very, very sloppy. It has to be said. The breakaway was easy. Frank Lampard's looking at the replay now on his tablet. But I can tell you, Everton are not going to be pleased with that defending. And this is not a goal that they wanted to concede early, Luke.
No, it was a poor pass from Damari Gray. And then on the counter, Manchester United just get it right. And I've seen it firsthand with United's counter-attacks. Once Rashford runs at you, you don't really stand much of a chance. brilliant ball into Anthony and his brilliant finish.
Well, United take this early goal. It's a nice slide there by Anthony just to make sure he made the contact there. He was onside. He held his run rather brilliantly there. The ball was played across. It wasn't played across, I don't think, with a great deal of pace. But stretching there was Anthony to make it 1-0. And United are in front, and Eric Ten Hag is obviously delighted. But this just heaps the pressure on Frank Lampard as Everton get the game back underway with Gray. The ball is launched long, and chasing it is Mikalenko there, and it just rolls out of play and will be a goal kick to Manchester United. Well, Anthony back from injury and on the score sheet. Obviously, he'll be delighted with that. Here's Luke Shaw. Just inside his own penalty area now, and at this point United will try to slow the game down and just maintain possession. It's with Varane, and he gives the ball down to Dalot down this near side. Dalot plays the ball long. It was just tried to be headed on by Eriksen, but I think it just kind of bounced over his head and went through to Jordan Pickford. And Frank Lampard looking on now, and Everton give the ball away again. Mikalenko was dispossessed that time. Anthony tries to knock the ball on, but Everton win it back, and Idrissa Gueye has gone down. And it looks like from the challenge from Anthony, and Gueye is on his feet. Just took an unpleasant knock there. Just went right across Anthony, actually, and just seemed to come off worse there. Iwobi in the midfield. He knocks the ball back to the number 2 for Everton, Tarkowski, former Burnley player. It's cleared out by Pickford, but it's a bad clearance. And now United have another chance, and it's Rashford with a shot, and it just whistles past Pickford's right-hand post. And once again, United come close. Another warning shot across the bow, Luke.
Yeah, I feel like Everton are totally devoid of confidence in every aspect. As in, they're playing balls and not making sure of their passes. The clearance from Pickford was hopeless, and if the finish was better from Martial, then it'd have been 2-0. But I think Everton needs to just kind of get a little more of a grip on how they're passing the ball around at the minute.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they look at 6s and 7s defensively. The turnover, as you mentioned, for the goal, and nearly again there, they were nearly punished again there. Now the throw-in is going to be taken by Malacia. You are listening to alternative commentary on the Commentary Hub YouTube channel. Today's player of the match sponsor on the Hub is sponsored by Commentary Services. Commentary Services would like to thank our broadcasting partners for this season: JB Sports, Turton Talks Football, and Storm FM. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter at Commentary Live, and you can like our Facebook page at facebook.com/the Commentary Hub. Rashford. His first touch was a poor one, and Iwobi now has it. And it's picked up there on the far side and returned back by Mopé and Pickford. That went all the way back to him, and he clears it once again. A little bit better this time. It bounces off Mopé and goes out for a throw-in to Manchester United, almost on the halfway line there. Jordan Pickford's clearances, leaving a little bit to be desired. It's not normal for him. Normally his distribution is excellent. Perhaps he feels a little bit under pressure, as do the rest of the Everton team right now. And the throw-in is to be taken by Seamus Coleman, the captain. And he throws it all the way back. And picking it up here is the number 30, Connor Cody. He launches the ball forward. Chasing this one at the moment is Mopé, and it's cleared up at the back by Malacia, just gives it back to De Gea. De Gea's clearance, and it's knocked on, and here goes Anthony now. Anthony's got space in front of him. A lot of space. What's he going to do with it? It's disappointing by Anthony. The pass he tried with the outside of his boot was poor, and Tarkowski just got an interception in there, and here's Mikalenko. And it goes back to James Tarkowski. Here's the number 8, Onana. Onana gives it to Iwobi. Out on the far side to Coleman. Coleman looking for options. He gives it back to Iwobi. Iwobi played infield to Damari Gray. Back to Onana. Moving forward over the halfway line now is James Tarkowski. Tarkowski gives it to Gray. Gray to Mikolenko. What can he do with it now? Mikolenko, he's got a bit of time and space. He just lays it off to Gray. Back to James Tarkowski, midway inside the Manchester United half. And here's Damari Gray again. Damari Gray just knocks it back to Tarkowski. Manchester United just pressing Everton back here. Here's Vitaly Mikolenko. Mikolenko's ball is disappointing. And Manchester United can now break. And here's Anthony Martial over the halfway line. He's got Iwobi alongside him. Martial's pass. Well, he was hoping Tyrell Malacia would move up alongside him. Didn't happen. That ball goes out of play. It's going to be a throw into Everton. We are just about hitting the 10-minute mark here at Old Trafford. It's Manchester United 1, Everton 0. And here is the Iwobi. And it's Mikolenko. And it is Idrissa Gueye. Idrissa Gueye's ball there, just a bit loose. And James Tarkowski had to follow up on that one. And it's going to be a throw in to Manchester United. And the number 20 for Manchester United, Diogo Dalot, will take it. And still 0-0 here. It's picked up by Anthony Martial. Anthony Martial just tried to knock the ball onto Eriksen, but Eriksen is mugged. And here's Alex Iwobi now. He's got options ahead of him. And it's a good interception that time. And the ball is long over on the far side to Rashford. Now, Rashford, who's already been involved in one goal. Rashford cuts inside, looking to get the shot away. He delays. Gives it back to Eriksen, who strikes it. It's blocked by Onana, and the shot this time by Casemiro is wide. Well, you can see, Luke, that Manchester United are really turning the screws now. They appear to have taken more control of this game.
Yeah, Everton are still being sloppy with the ball, and I think part of Everton's problem is they're putting so many players forward that when Man United counter, they have more in the opposition half than Everton have defending, which is a big issue for me. But also, I do think that if Man United have a bit more quality in finishing, they'll be able to put a few more away this evening.
Yeah, I actually agree with that, Luke. I think definitely with Everton being very sloppy at the moment, they've given the ball away a few times on the edge of the penalty area. Also, the distribution by Pickford has been not up to his usual standard. And he's got the ball now as Pickford. He goes for the simpler pass this time and gives it to Idrissa Gueye. He gives it to Tarkowski and he just returns it to Pickford. Now, at the moment, I think Everton are just trying to get comfortable on the ball right now. And that's Cody. And it's out to Godfrey. Launches the ball looking for Coleman that time. It's picked up by Onana. Onana gives the ball to Godfrey. It's back with Iwobi now. Iwobi's got a Gray up there. Instead, he goes across the field to Mikolenko. Mikolenko now. He's got a few options ahead of him. Mikolenko plays the pass to Idrissa Gueye, and there's a shot by Gray, and it looks like it came off the post, and that's an opportunity there. And that's Everton's best move of the game so far. Idrissa Gueye just slips it there to Mikolenko, gives it to Gray. Gray gets a shot away. Actually, it looks like it might have missed the post, and yeah, that's a strange one. Looks like it might have come off the goalkeeper there. Indeed, it has. It's a corner. Looks like the goalkeeper saved it and then it hit the post. So it's a corner to Everton. And it's going to be taken by Damari Gray by the looks of it. Gray swings it in, the header away. And it's picked up by Onana and he gives it to Mikolenko. Mikolenko now slips the ball to Damari Gray. Damari Gray launched it to the edge of the penalty area. Oh, it's headed on. Oh, good interception there that time. And that was, but here's a chance now. And it's Mope. Mope gets the ball across. Oh, it's been dropped and it's touched in. It's a goal and it's Connor Cody. Well, it's bad goalkeeping by David De Gea, it has to be said, and has let Everton back in the game when they've barely been in it. Well, that is very poor goalkeeping from David De Gea. And it started with the cross came in. It was cleared away. And it came back in then by Gray. And I'm not sure whether that's going to go down as an own goal. I think it's going to go down as Connor Cody because I don't think it crossed the line. we're going to have a look at it again. Gray's cross. It was headed on. The clearance wasn't the best. It was cleared away by Casemiro, in fact. And then it was Onana who slipped the ball. And I'm just trying to see who it was who got the ball into the box. It was a little bit difficult to tell from here. Looks like it was Mopé. And yes, it just bounced off the inside of the legs of David De Gea and left Connor Cody with a tap in. Your thoughts, Luke?
I must go watch. I'm not sure what David De Gea was doing with his feet, but sort your feet out and kick it straight out for a corner. I mean, Man United have not done a lot since they scored, and I think Everton probably in the past 2 minutes have deserved that goal with the play they had going forward and then the corner. But if you're Manchester United, you have to defend that better.
Yeah, very poor all round for United. Definitely letting Everton back in the game. And here's Fernandes now for Manchester United. Fernandes just drops it back to Casemiro. It's been a revelation since he's joined Manchester United. He slips the ball to Dalot. Dalot slips the ball to Anthony. Anthony's under pressure there by two Everton players. And Darren England confirms that will be, has he given a free kick there or just a throw in? The ball went out of play. We'll just take a look. It looks like it's a throw-in. And here's Casemiro now. He tries to... Oh, he finds Martial on the edge of the penalty area. Can Martial turn? He cannot. And Onana there just plays it back and maintains possession for Everton. Here's Gray. Gray under pressure by Dalot. And he goes back to Mikalenko. Here's Connor Cody, the goal scorer. Over onto the far side looking for Seamus Coleman. It's now Iwobi. Iwobi as finds Coleman. So this game, if it is tied today, if it does finish level after 90 minutes, we'll go to a replay. The third and fourth rounds will have replays this season. The fifth will be settled on the night. Now here's Rashford. Rashford plays the ball across. Here's Martial with a chance. Oh, what a super save by Jordan Pickford. Came charging out to make that save on Anthony Martial. Oh, well, the defence kind of let Everton down again there. Martial started it off. And then Rashford running at the Everton defence just slipped in Martial, who was ghosting in at the back behind the Everton defence there. But what a super save by Jordan Pickford, Luke.
You see, I think I've diagnosed Everton's problem. They're vulnerable at the back. They're good going forward. But again, that's a brilliant save from Pickford. But if Manchester United could get someone to finish chances clearly, then they'd be in business.
Corner comes in and it's just cleared away by Everton, although they've not really cleared it away properly, but they have in fact won a free kick right on the edge of their own penalty area. It looks like one of the assistants has signalled for a offside, and Jordan Pickford just trying to calm his defence down. And I agree with you, Luke. I think the defensive issues are really evident on show tonight, as they have been all season. And actually, and we're just looking at the goal again there. I just wonder if that was in fact Cody or whether that came off the defender. No, it is Cody. I think Cody got the last touch. They were both there, Cody and Luke Shaw, but it looks like it did come off Cody last, so he'll be claiming that one. And here's Luke Shaw now, and he clears the ball forward. It's blocked by Iwobi. Wasn't the best clearance by Shaw, and it goes out of play, but it will be a throw into Manchester United. That throw-in is taken quickly. Here's Rafael Varane, and he gives it to Dalot. Dalot just inside his own half, and he just crosses the halfway line there, gives it to Anthony, and Anthony returns it to Dalot. Dalot back to Varane. And Varane just plays it out to Dalot. Dalot has got space in front of him. He's got Fernandes with him. Fernandes picks up the ball and launches it right across the opposite end, the opposite width of the pitch there to Luke Shaw. Luke Shaw, ball forward is long, and Anthony again, Martial's got space on the edge of the area, and the shot comes in, and it's blocked well. There was Rashford had space in the penalty area, probably more than he realised, and he laid it off to Martial, whose shot was blocked. Everton now have the ball, and it's Coleman who goes down. It'll be a free kick from foul from Malacia. Once again, though, Luke, a lot of space in the Everton penalty area.
Yeah, Everton's allowing a lot of time, a lot of space for Man United players, but again, vital block at the vital moment there to block the shot.
Well, James Tarkowski there trying to organise communication within that Everton backline. They're using two wing backs by the looks of it, with Mikolenko and Coleman, and using the three centre backs, Tarkowski, Cody, and Godfrey. But I have to say, it doesn't appear to be working so far. Here's Dalot. Dalot just gives it back to Raphael Varane and Luke Shaw now. Luke Shaw's got Malacia in front of him. He's got Eriksen, Casemiro, and Fernandes all as options. He goes back to Varane. Varane into Eriksen. Eriksen to Casemiro. Casemiro, the ball is launched forward and just headed on by Rashford. And it's down this near side to Anthony now. Anthony's got some space in front of him. And he just sort of back heels it to Dalot. Dalot in an advanced position. And Dalot again. Anthony, he's not able to control that pass back from Dalot. And Tarkowski puts the ball out of play. And we've hit the 20-minute mark, and it's Manchester United 1, Everton 1. Goals fairly early on. And Manchester United, who are themselves right now, I would say probably the better of the two sides at the moment, are at this time playing some pretty good football. Everton struggling defensively. And they just keep giving the ball away. And once again, United have possession, but Onana is down now, and it's going to be a free kick. Or has he just, the referee looks like he's just halted play, but Onana is down. It doesn't appear to be a head injury. Let's take a look at this again. Well, Casemiro won the ball. I can't see why the referee would give a free kick for that. It was a follow through perhaps by Casemiro. And while the referee is down, while Onana is down there, I'm just going to go through this the rest of my marketing duties. You are listening to alternative commentary on the Commentary Hub YouTube channel. Today's Player of the Match sponsor on the Hub, sponsored by Commentary Services. Commentary Services would like to thank our broadcasting partners for this season: JB Sports, Turton Talks Football, and Storm FM. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter at Commentary Live 1, and you can like our Facebook page, facebook.com/the Commentary Hub. So while we've got a stoppage in play, Luke, can you give us your thoughts on this game so far?
Man United have had a bit more composure on the ball. I think Everton are pressing a bit too high and holding a way too high defensive line, which means that the pace of Man United can get in behind. But on the whole, I think 1-1 is a fair score currently.
Okay, well, Marcus Rashford has the ball on the far side, and he slips the ball to Eriksen as we're back underway here. And it's played forward by Shaw, again to Rashford. Looks like he might have been fouled there. Darren England said no, that tackle was fair. And it's cleared away by Godfrey. Rashford just getting back to his feet now, and Luke Shaw picks up the ball midway inside his own half. Not in any particular hurry, and it gives it to Eriksen. Eriksen right on the halfway line, and he gives the ball to Raphael Varane. Varane to Dalot. Dalot now. Back to Varane. Varane over the halfway line, and he gives the ball to Shaw. Everton now definitely defending very deep right now. At least 9 of their players are almost camping out on the edge of the penalty area. The cross comes in from Eriksen. It's a poor, from Malacia, and it's a poor one. And it's picked up by the goalkeeper. And Pickford has released it quickly. And on the ball now is Gay. And he gives the ball back to Tarkowski, who goes all the way back to Jordan Pickford. And as we reach the halfway stage of this first half, Anthony's goal on 4 minutes and Connor Cody's equaliser 10 minutes later is where we're at right now. It is 1-1, and Raphael Varane just gives that back to David De Gea as Gray was chasing in, and Diogo Dalot, he just slips the ball to Eriksen. Eriksen looking for options, gives the ball to Malacia. Malacia slips the ball forward looking for Rashford. Rashford fails to control it. And that's Onana, and he gives the ball to Idrissa Gueye. And Gueye just slips the pass there to the number 20, Mope. And Gray tries to win the ball but loses out. But the ball has broken loose and it's picked up by Ben Godfrey. Godfrey slips the ball back there to Coleman. And Pickford now, who is out of his goal, who's out of his penalty area, just slips the ball to Cody, the goal scorer, who goes to Gueye, who gives it back to Jordan Pickford and James Tarkowski. And again, right now, I think Everton are just trying to keep possession right now, just get comfortable on the ball. Pickford does play it long to Iwobi. It's won in midfield by Gray. Gray slips the ball to Mikalenko. Mikalenko gives the ball to Gueye, and he gives it to Iwobi. Iwobi. And the ball is played to Tarkowski. Tarkowski plays the ball forward looking for Mikalenko, but it's too much on that, and it goes behind for a goal kick. And that move breaks down for Everton. And perhaps that was Everton's longest stance in possession of the ball, Luke.
Yeah, well, I think they had a bit of possession just for their goal. But I think, again, if they were able to make sure their passes, they'd have been in there.
Yeah, well, United now breaking forward, looking to create some opportunities of their own. Here's Bruno Fernandes. Well, he's Bruno Fernandes. He plays it back to Casemiro. To Varane. Varane just slips the ball to Shaw. Shaw over on the far side to Anthony. Anthony's got some space in front of him. He gets the ball back, but it's given away, and Everton now have the opportunity to break. But it's a foul by Casemiro. And on Damari Gray there, he protests, but it was a blatant foul. No point in complaining. He obviously took the player out. You see here, right there. And but no further action taken by our referee tonight, Darren England. So the free kick will be taken by Pickford. He launches the ball long over on the far side. It's cleared up by Malacia. Rashford goes over to try to keep the ball in play. He's not successful. It's going to be a throw into Everton. I'm going to come in together now between Coleman and Malacia, and those two are at each other's throats. And the assistant on the far side, Simon Hooper, just looking to clear things up as everybody is just trying to calm everybody down. And it finally breaks away. Luke, I'm sure you don't want to see any of this. We've seen enough of this in the World Cup, haven't we?
Yeah, it's ridiculous. I don't quite know what the point of this actually is, but total overreaction and just get on with it.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree with you. But I guess Godfrey's taking objection to the tackle by Rashford, and Rashford is taking exception to the shirt pull. And then for some reason, Ben Godfrey gets involved. Not that it's any of his business. So all rather silly in the end. It's going to be a throw into Everton, midway inside the Manchester United half of the field. And, Gueye loses it, and United now can break forward. And here's Rashford with a bit of space in front of him. Ben Godfrey with him. Coleman over there as well. And it's the number 8, Fernandes. Fernandes under pressure. Good work defensively that time by Onana. Well played by him. He's also been considered to be fouled. Fernandes wants to know why. And a yellow card has come out. That's the first yellow card of the game, which goes to Bruno Fernandes for the foul on Onana. It was good work by Onana. Let me have a look at this again. Well, he catches him. He does catch him, doesn't he, Luke?
Yep, absolutely. That's a yellow card. He leaves it on him after he's kind of got the ball, so yellow card.
Yes. Well, I'm in agreement with you, Luke, but Bruno Fernandes is not. He's still shaking his head, rather disgruntled at that decision.
Well, of course he's not. He doesn't want the yellow card, obviously.
Well, I think some players can take it, Luke. Some kind of accept it when they know they've done wrong. I don't think Fernandez is one of them, unfortunately. He's still shaking his head, but yeah, the yellow card stands, and he's just going to have to accept it. Here's Diogo Dalla now for Manchester United. And it's Ericsson gives it to Diogo Dalla. And out on the far side there is Anthony. Anthony just cuts inside. He's looking at options. The ball goes to Ericsson, and Ericsson plays it across almost the full length of the pitch to Luke Shaw. Luke Shaw out on the far side there to Malacia. Malacia finds Rashford. Rashford's got two players in front of him, Godfrey and Seamus Coleman. Seamus Coleman wins the ball back, but then is dispossessed, and Manchester United have the ball back. Shaw gives it to Fernandez. Fernandez, long ball forward, and it just goes beyond his compatriot Dallo, and it goes behind for a goal kick. And Manchester United again attempting to put together an attack there, but given Manchester United's amount of possession that they've had on the ball, they haven't really created a great deal, Luke.
No, and I mean, it appears to me that a few players are not on the same wavelength. I mean, everybody seems to be on Rashford's wavelength, but apart from that, there isn't a lot of other link-up plays that are actually coming off perfectly.
Well, Everton now have the ball in midfield, and it's just played back there to Cody. Cody goes all the way back to Jordan Pickford, and Pickford opts to go long again. It's looking for Mopé, but Mopé loses out on that battle, and United have the ball back. And it's Bruno Fernandes again now. Fernandes tries to get his cross, and it goes all the way through, and it's back to Anthony, and it's blocked. Well, that cross went right the way across the Everton defence again, and I have to say, that was pretty poor defending, because you cannot allow the ball to go across your 18-yard box like that when you're in a possession to intercept it. And here's Casemiro again. Now he gives the ball to Anthony. Anthony battling with it. He finds Fernandes. Fernandes, Martial there. And he had a little bit more space, and he realised again inside the 18-yard box. And Ericsson now picks up the ball, and he gives the ball to Rashford. Rashford plays the ball to Fernandes. A lot of space in front of him. He chests it down, but that is much better this time by Idrissa Gueye. And over the halfway line now is Damari Gray. Damari Gray, he's got Varane in front of him. Damari Gray cuts across, gives it to Coleman. Coleman gives it to, tries to find a Iwobi, but it's intercepted, and United break forward now. And it's Rashford. And Rashford with the shot. Oh, just poured away from Jordan Pickford. Well, that shot was all of about 30 yards out. Got a lot of power and a little bit of dip behind that shot by Rashford. And it forced, Jordan Pickford had to react fairly smartly there, Luke.
Yeah, I think Everton are all over the place at the back, and they don't particularly know how to work it. Brilliant save from Pickford, but I do think that Everton need to get a bit of a hold on the balls into their box.
Yeah, there was definitely some issues there defensively. There's a lot of space in that penalty area and around the edge of the penalty area that Manchester United are trying to exploit here. Here's Anthony. Anthony now. He's got Mikalenko in front of him. Good work by Mikalenko, but United maintain possession. And here's Shaw, and he gives the ball to Malacia. It's Ericsson. Back to Malacia in an advanced position. Ericsson. And it goes back to Luke Shaw. Luke Shaw just knocked the ball off there. Malacia has it now, and out on the far side there was Martial. And here is Luke Shaw, gives it to Malacia. And it's just dinked forward, but there's to nobody in particular. Well, these two teams have met each other 12 times in the FA Cup, as discussed earlier. Manchester United won 6, Everton won 6. The first meeting was an FA Cup second round on the 21st of February 1903. Everton won 3-1. with 15,000 crammed into the then Goodison Park. Manchester United goal scorer was Billy Griffiths, Tom Booth, Jack Taylor, and Walter Abbott were the scorers for Everton. Back to 2023, and it's picked up in the midfield by Iwobi, and Iwobi slips the ball to Gray. Gray has got some space in front of him, and he's giving it to Mikalenko in advanced position. Great cross by Mikalenko. Oh, unable to pick out Gay. He was in the box completely unmarked, and it's picked up by Iwobi. Joining the attack there is Godfrey, but Manchester United win it back. And storming over the halfway line now is Anthony. The Brazilian has been a constant threat in this first half for Manchester United. And he slips it back there to Casemiro, and Casemiro's ball is very disappointing. And Iwobi picks up the ball. Just a quick 1-2 with Idrissa Gueye. And here's Neal Maupay now. Maupay been fairly quiet in this first half. And he slips the ball to Onana. And he goes back to James Tarkowski. And picked up by Gray. And there seems to be a lacking a little bit of I don't want to say effort, because I don't believe that's fair, but there's lacking a little bit of urgency in the Everton side, Luke.
I think it's more a sense of belief in that they can actually pass it round well and actually retain the ball, because, I mean, when they actually do play, they look quite good, but it's more the fact that I think they're just a bit vulnerable.
Well, Manchester United have possession of the ball right now. The ball is long over on the far side, looking for Anthony. It was just knocked out of play by the header from Mikalenko. So Anthony, is he going to take that throw in? No, he leaves it to Dalot. And Dalot will just take his time here. I think United I don't think either of these sides are going to want to replay. But I feel that United are a lot more comfortable on the ball right now. They have certainly settled into this game much better. They've had more possession. They've created the better chances. Now, Damari Gray has it for Everton inside his own half. He gives it to Gay. Gay, the ball is played over on the far side, and cutting across to intercept that one is Rashford, and he knocks it back to Malacia with his head. Good work by Rashford. Malacia. And he gives the ball to, I believe that's Fernandez. It's very difficult to see. Eriksen now has the ball. Eriksen slips the ball infield to Rafael Varane. Moving forward in an advanced position is the centre-back for Manchester United, Varane. Plays it across to Casemiro, back to Varane. Varane's got some space in front of him. And a little back heel by Anthony. And Varane now is in the corner flag. Oh, he just beats Gay easily there. It's pulled back now to Casemiro. He tries to get the cross away, but it's hacked away by Godfrey. Out to the edge of the box to Malacia. And Fernandez tries to cross the ball in, but it's disappointing. Everton now hoping that they can counter. And here's Maupay. And it's a good challenge that time by Dalot. Knocks the ball out of play. It's going to be a throw-in for Everton, almost on the halfway line. And today, Luke, you will have the supreme honour of choosing player of the match today. And so that will fall on you today. But as we approach the 38th minute, Luke, how do you think the game has gone so far? And do you feel that what do Everton need to do to try to get themselves back into this game?
I think Man U have definitely been on top, but I think Everton have had moments, and I think what Everton need to do to get back into the game is get a bit of possession and, I don't know, bring a bit more confidence about their play.
Well, that might be something that Frank Lampard will discuss at halftime, because what I'm seeing here is reminiscent of when I was commentating on the Chelsea versus Forest game. I believe you're right. I think Everton may be giving Manchester United a little bit too much respect in this first half. Here's Gay. He knocks the ball back to Tarkowski. Tarkowski plays it across to his centre-back partner, Connor Cody, and the scorer of the Everton goal. And he goes across to Iwobi. Iwobi now knocks it back to Godfrey. Back to Connor Cody. and it's played forward to Mope. Mope under pressure there. Iwobi now plays the ball in, and that was almost an inch perfect pass there to Coleman, but it just escaped the Everton defender there and just went all the way through to David De Gea. But that was almost an inch perfect pass. He might have strayed offside slightly, but that was almost a perfect play that time.
You see, again, that's what I was saying. They've got to have that belief to keep trying these things. I mean, there's a little bit of weariness, I think, within the Everton side. And really, tonight, there's nothing really to lose. You just go out and play. So, in a sense, you've got to try these things to see if it works. And then, if you like the idea, try it in the league. But currently, you're playing a cup game, so you've got to at least try and give it a good go.
Yes, and United now just have won the ball back again in a dangerous position. Here's Ericsson. Ericsson with a shot. Oh, I say that was so close. It was always rising and just cleared the crossbar. But again, that came about from another turnover defensively for Everton. This time, Idrissa Gueye was dispossessed. And the ball was quickly played to Ericsson. And boy, oh boy, Luke, that was very close indeed.
I was inches away from being a goal, and I mean that's what a player of Ericsson's quality can do.
Well, he was just curled it. The goalkeeper was beating all ends up. If that was on target, that was 2-1. But once again, worryingly for Everton, it came about from another turnover in a very dangerous position. And I do worry for Everton. And I think these issues have certainly been effective in the league as they have dragged themselves into this cup tie. And here's Dalot now. He's going over the halfway line. He's got Anthony up there with him. He just played the ball to Anthony. And he's just going to go all the way back to Ericsson. Ericsson plays the ball across the width of the pitch to Luke Shaw. Shaw now. He's got Iwobi in front of him, gives the ball there to Rashford. Rashford swings the ball across. It goes all the way to Anthony. Anthony gives the ball to Dalot. Dalot just plays it off Idrissa Gueye. It's going to be a throw into Manchester United. And we've got 4 minutes left in this first half, and it is Manchester United 1, Everton 1. And we are really at the moment witnessing something here that Everton have got, should look at this. Everton fans should be extremely concerned with what we're seeing defensively from the Toffees here. Here's Ericsson. And Varane over to Luke Shaw. Luke Shaw and to Malacia. Malacia slips it back to Martial. And he gives it back to Ericsson. And Ericsson back to Martial. Martial tries to slip the ball through there. Was looking for Casemiro. Casemiro wasn't able to control that, and Everton can clear. And here's Demarai Gray. Demarai Gray just beats Ericsson and Dalot. He's got a bit of space in front of him now for Demarai Gray. And it was just knocked off Fernandes. Fernandes just got his leg in the way there of Gray's pass. And in the end, fortunately for Manchester United, it just trickles back through to David De Gea, who what he has had to do in the first half has not been convincing either. The goal, I think, definitely is laid at his feet. Here is Rashford now for Manchester United. Good challenge by Coleman, and Iwobi has the ball now. And here's Neal Maupay. Maupay. Well, he's midway inside his own half. He just plays the ball across to Iwobi. Iwobi brings it down, just drops it back to Coleman. Coleman back to Ben Godfrey, and across to Connor Cody. Cody plays the ball long. It's picked up by Alex Iwobi. Alex Iwobi just plays the ball forward, but the runner wasn't on, and it's comfortably picked up by Ericsson. As we are inside the last 2 minutes of this FA Cup third round tie in the first half. 233 passes, 205 completed for Manchester United, 202 passes for Everton, only 159 completed. It really does tell the story. And here is Malacia. Malacia gives it to Ericsson. Ericsson just slips it back to Rashford. Rashford's got some space in front of him, looking for the shot. He does get a shot in, but it's blocked by Tarkowski. Goes back to Malacia. Malacia back to Anthony Martial. Back to Malacia. Martial just slips it to Bruno Fernandes, and here on the edge of the box is Rafael Varane. Varane's ball is a disappointing one, and it's intercepted by Onana. Onana now has a bit of space in front of him. He tries to break inside. It wasn't successful, and Manchester United win the ball back. But there is, in fact, a free kick given against Casemiro. Looked like it was on Neil Maupay. Well, find out very shortly just how long the fourth official, Simon Hooper, is going to add on for the stoppage time. There's been one or two stoppages. Of course, we've had the goals and a couple of times where the referees had to stop the play for injuries. And I can't see there being much more than 2 or 3 minutes, in all honesty, though. It's back now with Cody. Cody slips it to Godfrey, but that was almost very dangerous. Cody now gives it to Gay. Gay's pass is wayward, and he's chasing it down now, but Luke Shaw's just going to deal with that and slip it to Ericsson. Ericsson just nipping back into his own half. He slips the ball back to Luke Shaw. Malacia forward to Martial. Martial gives it to Casemiro. Casemiro's got some space in front of him now. Casemiro, nice ball over on the far side to Anthony. Anthony picks the ball up. He's on the touchline there. Slips it back to Dalot. Can Dalot get the cross in? Oh, he maybe delayed too long. Dalot slips it back to Anthony and tries to go back to Dalot, but that's a good interception by James Tarkowski and will be a throw-in. We have 2 minutes of stoppage time. We'll get Luke's thoughts just before we go back to Nick at half-time, but Dalot is with the throw-in here. And Dalot, he manages to find Martial. Now he's under pressure on the corner flag, plays it off James Tarkowski and wins the corner for Manchester United. So Tarkowski now just checking the ball, and he just gets himself into position. It now goes back to the corner, and it looks like it's going to be Luke Shaw to take the corner. We're going to see if he's going to swing this one in. We've got players in the 6-yard box there. Fernandes, Casemiro, Dalla, all in there. And the referee now has got a problem. Martial's in there as well. Let's just see what's up with the referee here. He seems to be warning Gay there. And again, the hands are all over each other there in that 6-yard box. And movement is very difficult. If this one is swung in well, and it's just headed away by Tarkowski, but only as far as Anthony, and gives it to Ericsson. It's swung in by Shaw, just headed out by Godfrey, helped along by Idrissa Gay. But it's only as far as Anthony Martial, as more sustained pressure from Manchester United. Martial slips it back to Rashford. Rashford tries to get it back to Martial, but good work that time by the Everton defence. They do manage to clear it away with Ben Godfrey. But the clearance actually only ends up going to Luke Shaw. Well, Connor Cody's trying to calm his defence down as we reach the end of the 2 minutes of stoppage time. And the referee does, in fact, blow up for half-time. So it's half-time here at Old Trafford. Goals from Anthony on 4 minutes and Connor Cody on 14. Gives a 1-1 scoreline. But Luke, your assessment to the first half, it's not quite been as simple as that, has it?
No, Man United had a lot of chances and just haven't taken them. Everton scored with their 1 of 3 chances, and it's been a lot of a mismatch with tennis in the middle of the park. But again, I think if you've got a bit of quality in the second half, one side might edge it. But currently, I think 1-1 reflects the first half, to be fair.
All right, thank you very much, Luke. We're now going to go back to Nick in the studio.
Thanks, Paul. Thanks, Paul. Manchester United take the lead early on, but Everton somehow managed to pull back, and it's fair to say that it's become something of a stalemate from then on. But before I talk about anything else, just plug a couple of games coming up tomorrow. It's Coventry City. It's Coventry City against Wrexham at 5:30. Join me for that one. And you've also got the other option of Sheffield Wednesday against Newcastle United with Russ Vernon. But bear in mind that Coventry against Wrexham will be on the Commentary Hub 2 only. So if you want to know which is which, then if you want to know which channel to go for, then it's Commentary Hub 2 for Coventry against Wrexham. Everywhere else will have the Newcastle Sheffield Wednesday match. So for me it was difficult to say who had the more chances. I would probably have to say Manchester United had to push, but we'll get the thoughts. But we'll get the thoughts of but we'll get the summary of Paul and Luke just before the start of the second half. We're going to take a quick break, but we'll be back just before the start of the second half. Don't go away. Welcome back to the Commentary Hub's coverage of the FA Cup third round match between Manchester United and Everton. It started off strongly, but Paul James, after Everton equalised against Manchester United, it's fair to say it became something of a stalemate.
Yeah, there wasn't a lot of chances created, sort of between the 25th and 36th to 37th minute. I felt after that Manchester United had started to take advantage of the gaps in the Everton defence, and there were many of them. To be honest with you, I feel that Everton at the moment are. I hate to use the term ticking time bomb because it sounds so melodramatic, but it really is that's the way it is. They're turning the ball over a lot in dangerous positions. Manchester United forwards like Martial, Rashford, goal scorers are finding themselves in the penalty area with very little coverage against them. And so I feel that if Manchester United continue the way that they are doing and the way that Everton are defending, then there's going to be more goals in this, I think.
Yes, you could be right, but at least Manchester United are being patient. They're not rushing into things. But Everton, what do you think they have to do in order to what do you think they have to do? What do you think they have to do in the second half? Are they possibly looking at a replay?
Well, I think that they have to attack Manchester United more in the second half. They have to be more positive. They have to sort out their defence. They have to be defensively better. But I think that they have to also be more positive in the second half. The chances that they have had, they've managed to break open Manchester United's defence as well. So I think that they just need to be a little bit more positive in the second half and tighten up at the back a bit.
It sounds like this. Yes, it sounds like they certainly do. Well, we're just about 3 or so minutes away from the start of the second half. So back to Luke and Paul in the commentary box.
Thank you very much. And the players are not out yet. Luke, can you tell me where you see this cup tie going?
Just give me 2 seconds.
Yeah.
I see this cup tie probably edging Man United as favourites for the way that they have a lot more composure on the ball and less pressure on them. I think Everton are playing a lot less cohesively. They look a lot more nervous and wary of making mistakes. And I think if they carry on like that in the second half, then Man United will just pick them off.
Yeah, it's. I mean, this is what I was just saying to Luke as well. To Nick as well. I entirely agree with you. That if Everton don't tighten up at the back and Manchester United continue to have the type of possession that they've been having in this in the first half, then they're going to be very difficult to. They're going to find it very difficult in the second half for Everton. I do feel that they need to pressure a bit more, be a bit more positive going forward, because the chances that they have had, as you mentioned in the first half yourself, Luke, the chances that they have had, they've been they've had some joy with. Let's face it, they've been able to get inside the Manchester United defence.
Yeah, going forward, Everton look great, but in a sense, it's only half the battle being good going forward. If you don't pass the ball well enough and get the ball up that area of the field, then it's pointless. I mean, we can all be great going forward, but if you one can't defend and two struggle to play the ball from defence to your front players, then you're really going to struggle. And I think that's why they are struggling, because teams are realising that if they press Everton and cut out the passing lanes and intercept the balls regularly, then they stop Everton from being successful.
Mm. Yeah, I almost think to myself, Luke, that if Everton just be a little bit more positive in the second half, they might achieve some success. I think at the moment, David De Gea hasn't really been tested apart from the equalising goal, which has to be said he made a bit of a hash out of. It has to be said that they haven't really tested him. Given even though we're looking at a goalkeeper with vast amount of experience, has proven himself as an extremely competent goalkeeper, arguably one of the world's best. When you make a mistake like that, you do wonder if it affects the confidence of the goalkeeper, even somebody of his experience. Perhaps Everton had a missed opportunity there to put a bit more pressure on De Gea.
Yeah, I mean, if your goalkeeper's letting in chances like that, then you've got to keep putting the ball into those dangerous areas, which is going to put him under pressure. But really, I wouldn't feel too nervous as David De Gea right now, because apart from that one chance that went in, they've done absolutely nothing on his goal since the goal went in. So I'm feeling fairly confident at the moment. But again, Everton will have to give a reaction in the second half. Man United have to be ready for that. But then also, that works in the reverse, because if Everton manage to get the reaction they want, then Man United will come straight back at them with their reaction.
Mm. Do you feel that Everton should perhaps make any changes at the moment?
I don't really think it matters who's on the field for Everton at the minute, because they're all surrounding as the same group, and it's just, I think they need to just get better at the link-up play, the passing, and I mean that midfield is competent enough. You've got Anana, Adrissagay, and Iwobi. They're brilliant players, in my opinion, but they just need to be able to retain the ball.
Mm. Well, the players are in the tunnel now. They are making their way out onto the field. Harry Maguire and Jordan Pickford just having a little chit chat there as the players now make their way back out onto the field. And looking at this now, it doesn't look like there's been any changes as of yet. So I'll just run you through both the teams. For Manchester United, David De Gea in goal, Tyrone Malacia, Luke Shaw, Rafael Varane, Diogo Dalot, Christian Eriksen, Casemiro, Marcus Rashford, Bruno Fernandes, Anthony, and Anthony Martial up front in the number 9 role for Manchester United. For Everton, they have Pickford, Coleman, Godfrey, Cody, Tarkowski, Mikolenko, Onana, Gay, Iwobi, Maupay, and Gray. As each team just having a brief warm-up before the second half gets underway. And, well, there's Frank Lampard and Luke. What could Frank Lampard say to his team to try to bring Everton give Everton the motivation they need to go forward and win this game?
Relax a bit, stop over stressing over individual moments, and just believe you can get a goal.
All right. Well, Bruno Fernandes is about to get us back underway as Manchester United will be attacking the Stretford end in the second half. That is the goal to your left. The game is back underway now, and here's Luke Shaw for Manchester United. Just slips it to Malacia down this near side. He goes across the width of the pitch to Rafael Varane. Over on the far side is Dalot. Varane gives it to Malacia in the centre circle, just inside the Everton half of the field. Malacia Switches it down this near side to Rashford. Rashford just tries to lift the ball forward, looking for Martial. Martial inside the Everton penalty area, gives it to Fernandes. Fernandes with the cross. It's headed on by Dalot to Anthony. Anthony. He's got Mikalenko in front of him, tries to get away from Mikalenko. Slips it back to Dalot. Dalot back to Anthony. Anthony just cuts inside, plays it across to Casemiro. Casemiro's attempted pass is intercepted by Iwobi, and Everton now are on the break. Well, he's got Mope up there with him, but that is a wonderful challenge by Tyrell Malacia. Well, Iwobi goes down, and he looks in a lot of pain. And James Tarkowski's trying to bring on. Well, it looks like it looks like he caught him. It does look like he won the ball first, though, but that does look a very he turns his ankle over in that challenge, and that will be very, very painful. Luke, I've done that myself a couple of times, and it hurts.
Yeah, it looks like he's in a lot of pain there away. But brilliant breakaway for Everton. That's what they need to do more of. Get the ball over to players that can counter like that against Man United. I mean, I'm not sure whether Arabia will continue after this, but we'll have to see. But you've got to be able to get the ball into those players that can directly impact play. And, Man United got done by another poor pass from Casemiro. And to be honest, this evening, Casemiro is having an absolute mare.
Yeah, he's given a few away, hasn't he, in this game so far as Casemiro? Yeah. It's not usually like that. He's been a revelation for Manchester United for the most part since he joined them, but tonight has certainly not been one of his better games. And Iwobi is still down, a look of concern on Frank Lampard's face. You are listening to alternative commentary on the Commentary Hub YouTube channel. Today's Player of the Match sponsor on the Hub is sponsored by Commentary Services. Commentary Services would like to thank our broadcasting partners for this season, JB Sports, Turton Talk Football, and Storm FM. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter at Commentary Live 1, and you can like our Facebook page, facebook.com/the commentary. So the stretcher is on now for Alexander Iwobi, and a look of concern on those Everton fans' faces, and well, they might. They have enough problems right now without adding this to it. Looking at their situation now, defensively, we've already discussed the defensive issues, Luke. They've got a lot to be concerned about. If you was Frank Lampard, would you be wanting to bring in additional defensive recruits during this transfer window?
I think if I was Frank Lampard, I'd want to add defensive, midfield, and attacking recruits, but it all depends on how big the budget is. I mean, they've got areas where it's working and areas where it's not, and I think it's just not knitting together. And it depends if you can throw a couple of players at it to make it click. But again, I'm not too sure at the moment. I mean, even if it added a striker, I don't think it'd fix it completely because they do need to get better defensively as well. That's the way it'd be done.
Yeah, Iwobi is gone. We sure hope it's nothing serious. Nobody wants to see a player injured and out for a long time, so I'm sure I speak for everyone on the Commentary Hub that we wish Alexander Iwobi a swift and fast recovery. He is leaving the field. It looks like Abdullah Doucouré is coming on. Right substitution for you, Luke?
Yeah, I think like for like, Doucouré was the one that I was thinking would come on. And again, he's physical, he gets about the pitch, he can carry the ball forward, he can score a goal. I mean, that's just what you want in a midfielder that's replacing a Iwobi that does a similar thing. So, in that respect, yeah, I totally agree.
All right, well, the game just gets underway, and it gets underway with a throw-in that is thrown out of play by Seamus Coleman. And they're remonstrating with the assistant on the far side. Well, we're still not back underway. It looks like looks like Connor Cody there is Neil Malpe there is remonstrating with the assistant. But Manchester United do in fact get the game underway, and it's Malacia. Malacia just slips it to Casemiro. Casemiro goes the full width of the pitch to Dalot. Dalot leaves it for Anthony, and Manchester United stream forward once again. Anthony slips it to, well, he was looking for Dalot. He keeps the ball, in fact, as Anthony, and gives it to Eriksen, who gives it to Casemiro. Casemiro slips it back to Luke Shaw, and Luke Shaw gives the ball to Varane. Varane's got options in front of him. Gives it to Eriksen. Eriksen's ball is long over on the far side. And it's Rashford now, who's already set up one goal. What can he do with this? Rashford gets inside, gets the ball across, and it's turned into his own goal. And yes, it looks like it's Connor Cody. He's now scored at both ends. And Manchester United take a 2-1 lead. And, I'm not sure that Connor Cody could do anything about that, Luke. If he didn't get a touch on that, I think Martial was right behind him.
That just sums up Everton's luck, though, doesn't it? I mean, when it's not going for you, it really, really isn't going for you, and defensive woes just happen again at the back for Everton. It's too easy to get inside on Seamus Coleman. The ball goes across, and yeah, I mean, good finish from Connor Cody, but just at the wrong end.
Yeah, he's scored at both ends now as Connor Cody, and you can tell the look on his face. Just look at that. He's wiped out with that. And sorry, go ahead, Luke. Make your point.
Well, technically, Paul, Connor Cody scored at the same end twice. Just the fact that now he's defending that end.
Well, that's true. Technically scored for both teams. Okay, well, the throw-in is taken by Tyrell Malacia. But here's Dalot now for Manchester United. Do you think that will open the floodgates now, Luke?
Maybe if Man United get another one. I just think Everton have been 1 down, and came back to 1-1. I think as long as there's 1 goal in it, Everton will still have a small sense of belief. Whereas if they extend it to a 2-goal advantage, then I think that'll be when the floodgates open.
All right, well, here's Diogo Dalot, and he gives the ball to Rafael Varane inside his own half. You're not missing much. And here's Rashford now. Rashford, midway inside the Everton half. He's got Doucouré in front of him. He plays the ball across the width of the pitch to Dalot, and cutting inside again is Anthony with a shot. And it's a comfortable save by Jordan Pickford. Gets down to one knee to make that save. And Manchester United, their tails are up now. This again was a smart move by Anthony, just cutting inside. Just a shot that was really lacking any conviction. But Manchester United cutting this Everton defence to shreds, really, all the way throughout this, the latter end of the first half and certainly the beginning of the second. It's just a little bit too easy for Manchester United right now. Here's Dalot. Dalot gives it back to Anthony, who has just, in my opinion, been one of the best players on the pitch. He gives it back to Dalot. Dalot's ball is disappointing. I think he was expecting Anthony to run for that, Luke, and instead it just goes behind for a goal kick.
That again just shows that they're not on the same wavelength.
Oh, there's Connor Cody. Just trying to motivate the Everton defence. It just must be the worst feeling in the world for him. It's now 2-1. Everton are behind, and Connor Cody own goal. A man like Connor Cody, who I would say is definitely committed to Everton's cause, that's a shame for him. The ball is long by Malacia. It's long over on the far side to Anthony. Anthony just manages to control it, but that's a good bit of improvisation. Back kicks it there to, Oved kicks it rather to Dalot. Dalot then plays the ball across the width of the pitch to Rashford in what was a brilliant ball. Rashford now, again, just trying to cut inside. This time he's not able to beat Damari Gray, and it goes out of play for a throw-in. Well, Rashford himself has been very, very impressive. He's been involved in both of the Manchester United goals. Seamus Coleman will take the throw-in. He's level with his own penalty area. Just stealing a few yards there. Just throws it to Doucouré. Doucouré's header isn't good enough, and it's launched back to inside the Everton penalty area again. But Tarkowski is there to deal with it. The ball is cleared forward, and it's just tidied up by Raphael Varane, who goes all the way back to David De Gea in the Manchester United goal. And Everton have really continued on from where they finished the first half. They seem a little reluctant to press. They seem a little reluctant to be positive and get forward and try to create chances. Here's Martial. Martial now. Oh, good tackle by Onana. That was excellent challenge. And it's flicked on there, looking for Idrissa Gueye, but the ball evades him. And over on the far side again now is Anthony. Overlapping is Dalot. And Anthony just keeps the ball and rather chooses to knock it back to his compatriot Casemiro. And it's over to Anthony. Anthony to Dalot. Dalot. Back to Casemiro. Dalot. Raphael Varane. Raphael Varane just slips the ball there to Luke Shaw. And it's Malacia. Malacia to Rashford. And just all the way back into the Manchester United half, as Manchester United now just comfortable, keeping possession of the ball, being patient in their build-up, and they're just saying to Everton, just come and get it off us, really. And at the moment, Everton don't have an answer to this. Here's Bruno Fernandes. Anthony gives it back to Raphael Varane. And here's Eriksen. Eriksen gives it to Fernandes. Fernandes back to Anthony, who gives it back to Fernandes. Anthony goes back with Fernandes. And right now, this is just patient play on the edge of the penalty area. It's almost like a training ground exercise for Manchester United. Anthony just waits. And it goes all the way back to Luke Shaw. Luke Shaw goes all the way back to David De Gea, and you are listening to Alternative Commentary on the Commentary Hub YouTube channel. Today's Player of the Match sponsor on the Hub is sponsored by Commentary Services. Commentary Services would like to thank our broadcasting partners for this season, JB Sports, Turton Talks Football, and Storm FM. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter at Commentary Live 1, and you can like our Facebook page, facebook.com/The Commentary Hub. That's my marketing duties done for the day. And Luke, we appreciate your channel being part of this as well. Free kick to Everton, and Doucouré is just grabbing a hold of the ball, and it's back with Jordan Pickford. Pickford plays the ball long. Raphael Varane there just winning the header comfortably. It's back with Casemiro. Casemiro and to Dalot. Dalot to Anthony. Those two have linked up well together for the most part. There's been times where the communication hasn't been there, but they've linked up fairly well. The cross coming from Dalot is blocked and goes out of play. It's blocked by Onana, and it will be a corner to Manchester United. And Fernandes in there now, Martial in there. So this is the third Manchester United corner of the game. And Everton, of course, have had one of their own. Doucouré at the back there, now going to hope to clean this up. The cross comes in. Oh, it just evades Raphael Varane. Maybe if he'd have jumped, he might have got that. But Ben Godfrey wins the ball back, gives it to Neil Maupay. And Neil Maupay now breaking forward for Everton. Let's see what he can do. He's just under pressure there by Varane. He drops it back to the number 23, Coleman. The ball is over on the far side to Mykolenko. Mykolenko's got some space in front of him. He swings the ball in, bounces up in the air, and Malacia just tries to clear it away. And that's a late tackle. and the referee is going to blow up there. A late challenge by Ben Godfrey on Marcus Rashford, and yellow card, in my opinion, quite rightly so. Luke, what do you think of that one?
Yeah, I agree. It was a fairly nasty tackle. Yellow card worthy. Yeah, definitely caught Rashford. Yeah, yellow card.
Studs up as well. Got to be careful. Sometimes when the studs go up, it can attract the unwanted attention of VAR. Stuart Atwell and Natalie Aspinall are on VAR duties today. And Rashford now just getting to his feet. And he's just trying to recover from that rather unpleasant tackle. Rashford, of course, he's been very impressive today. And you'll have a couple of choices, Luke, for your player of the match. Oh, and United have won the ball back on the edge of the penalty area. Here's Bruno Fernandes. Bruno Fernandes got some space. Anthony runs right into Mikalenko, but Fernandes still has it. Fernandes is just under pressure there. I think Fernandes, who was in the penalty area, had more time than he realised, I think. Doucouré trying to come back and clear this up is not successful. Casemiro now has it. The ball goes out of play, and it's going to be a throw-in for Manchester United. And once again, Everton very sloppy in defence, Luke.
Yeah, I thought Bruno Fernandes should really have hit that earlier.
Yeah, I think he probably had a little more time than he realised. And Dalot now has the throw-in. And it's knocked on by Casemiro. It's right to the edge of the box. It's going to be struck by Malacia, but it's blocked by Cody. And the referee is claiming, the referee is given a free kick. I'm just not quite sure. I think it was Neil Mopé that went down. He's still remonstrating to the referee, perhaps wanting the referee to take further action. In my opinion, not warranted. He does go into the back of him, but it wasn't that bad. Free kick is probably the correct decision. And Neil Mopé is still protesting and complaining. I don't know about you, Luke, but I don't know what your thoughts are on this, but I don't like seeing players trying to get other players booked or sent off. I've never liked it. Never used to be this way. It's only been in the last sort of 20 odd years or so that this has really, really gotten to a point where I think it's pretty uncivilized, actually.
Certain players just like to use their mouths more than their feet when they enter the field, and that's where the issues start.
Yeah, I think I definitely agree with you there. I can remember the time where, and this is obviously long before your time, but I remember the times when I'd be watching football and I'd see players approach the referee and tell them not to send the opposition off. Here's Doucouré now. Doucouré storming into the penalty area, an inspired run. It's picked up by Coleman. Great save! Oh, and what a chance there on the rebound from Doucouré, but it's blocked. Probably just fell to the wrong man there, Luke. It was the cross came in there. Well, it was more of a cross come shot by Seamus Coleman. De Gea got his legs on it, but what a chance for Doucouré. We'll get your thoughts on that in a moment. Here's Coleman. Coleman again gets the cross in and just headed out that time back to Casemiro, and Casemiro just knocks it down. But the clearance is still not properly away by Manchester United. There's Doucouré, and he gives it to Onana. What can Onana do with this now? And he gives it to Mikalenko. Mikalenko tries to get the cross in, and did De Gea keep it in? Yes, it looked like he did. So the chance there for Doucouré, Luke. What was your thoughts on that? Should he have scored there?
Yeah, I think that should have been a goal, but also, just looking at it now, oh, yeah, it was a tough one, but it was a chance and one that Everton might wish that they'd scored in the end.
Well, yeah, let's see if that comes back to haunt them. It's Malacia. Malacia gives the ball to Martial. And Rashford being impeded by Doucouré. Going to be a free kick to Manchester United. It's again another opportunity. It's from a fairly, I wouldn't say a dangerous position, but from a creative free kicks point of view, I'm sure Eriksen is probably licking his lips at this, and there's also Casemiro as Dominic Calvert-Lewin begins to get himself prepared to come on, and Shaw is over this, as is Eriksen. Two-man wall. Gray is one of those two men in the wall. Ericsson now will look to swing this one in. Rashford in there, Martial in there, Dallo in there, Casemiro in there. And it's played across to Fernandez this time by Ericsson. Fernandez, a shot and a good save by Jordan Pickford. That was a clever free kick by Ericsson, just squared it across. And the shot blazing in by Fernandez. Got a little bit of swerve on that. Good save, Luke.
Yeah, I do think if there's a little bit more of a curl, a little bit lower, it might have gone in. But good save nevertheless.
On the corner now, and are we going to see the substitution of Calvert-Lewin yet? No. Looks like the corner is going to be taken by Ericsson. Teams don't normally like to make changes when they're defending a corner, and that's they're following that. Now it's a short corner, which is given to Shaw. Goes back to Dalla. And it's back with Shaw. Shaw on the far side to Rashford. Rashford just trying to escape Decore. And Decore is waving his hand in the air. And we're just going to see who's going to get the yellow card. It might be Rashford here. Let's have a look. Or is he giving it to Decore for trying to get the player booked? I'm just not sure where this has gone. Let's have a look. It didn't look like there was any contact there, actually.
I
We'll
don't
see.
think Decore is waving for him to be booked. I think he was just waving to say no. And he
Okay,
has
well,
been booked.
Decore has gone into the yellow card. The referee had determined that that is a free kick. So the substitute goes into Mr. England's notebook, and it's going to be another free kick for Manchester United in a very dangerous position. And again, Shaw and Ericsson are over this one. It's going to be swung in, I think, by Ericsson because Shaw has moved away. And it is swung in, but it's too close to Jordan Pickford, who blocks that out of the air with ease. He's looking for options now to try to get Everton away on the break. Here's James Tarkowski. And it's given to Onana. Onana now. And he goes out. Decore now gives the ball out wide to Mikalenko. And it's won back there by Anthony. And Anthony's claiming he was fouled there. The referee agrees, and it's going to be a free kick to Manchester United. And we have 22 minutes left in this game. It's Manchester United 2, Everton 1, and Everton have just failed to create chances. And the substitutions are going to be made. It's Neil Maupay coming off, so it will in fact be Dominic Calvert-Lewin coming on, I suspect. Indeed it is. Dominic Calvert-Lewin coming on, like for like. Luke, right choice?
Yeah, I think that Calvert-Lewin will give Everton something a little bit different at the top of the picture that they don't necessarily have with Maupay.
Yeah, I think it's probably the right choice, I would say. At the moment, they are lacking some firepower up there. So Dominic Calvert-Lewin on will try to add some threat to that Everton front line. Well, it's here's Raphael Varane. And right now, the ball is with Luke Shaw, who gives it to Tyrell Malacia as Manchester United are now readying some substitutions. And the ball is played by Dallo to Malacia. It's out to Luke Shaw. Shaw's got some space in front of him now. Shaw gives it to Rashford. Rashford plays the ball back to Malacia. Back to Rashford. And Manchester United again patiently building up. And it's with Varane, who gives it to Malacia. Malacia will go all the way back to the goalkeeper, David De Gea. De Gea, long ball over on the far side. Clearing up there is Ericsson, just winning that one. Dalla just plays the ball off the Everton forward, Dominic Calvert-Lewin. It's going to be a throw in to Manchester United. There is Dominic Calvert-Lewin, and United are bringing on Fred and Garnacho. So Casemiro is making way, and we'll just see who else is coming off. So it's Casemiro, who's certainly not had the best games, as we discussed earlier. We'll just see who else is coming off for Manchester United. And Anthony Martial is the other coming off. So Martial and Casemiro are off. Fred and Garnacho are coming on. Your thoughts on that one, Luke?
Yeah, I mean, Martial's not really done a lot, to be honest. He had a couple of missed chances, but not really in the game. Casemiro's been giving the ball away a lot and probably playing too many games in a short space of time. So I'm not surprised that Ten Hag's changed it.
Yeah, it's probably going to add a little bit more bite in midfield. Garnacho is an incredible talent, so it should be interesting to see how he performs in this particular game today. And here is Fernandez. Fernandez, he's got Garnacho up with him. Here's Garnacho. First chance to show what he can do in this game. Garnacho is already under pressure by Coleman, and the ball goes behind for a goal kick. He was under pressure, but I don't feel he was fouled. And it'll be a goal kick to Everton. So the difference between the two... Sorry, go ahead, Luke.
Yeah, I think that Garnacho there was trying a bit too hard and got his feet in a mess.
Yeah, certainly appears that way. And David De Gea is almost in a mess there as well. It looks like him and Dalot had got into some confusion there. Fortunately for Manchester United, they came away with it unscathed. Doucouré now battling with Garnacho. Garnacho wins the ball back, plays the ball on, looking for Malacia. In midfield, there's Fernandez, who seems to have moved into a more central attacking midfielder role. And here's Onana now for Everton. Onana just slips the ball back there to Connor Cody. He gives the ball to Onana, back to Cody. And here's Godfrey. Godfrey, 18 minutes left in this game. Looks like you'll need to get your thinking cap on soon, Luke. You'll be choosing the player of the match today. I'm sure you have a few players in mind already. Everton breaking forward now. And here's Gray. Gray has a bit of space in front of him. He's got Coleman in the middle, as well as Calvert-Lewin. Gray cuts across. Calvert-Lewin! 2-2, I should say. 2-2. And Calvert-Lewin ties this game up for Everton when they've barely threatened in the second half. The substitution working wonders for Everton there. The cross came in. Again, it has to be said, David De Gea did not look very confident in his in controlling his 6-yard box there. And Everton are level. It starts here in the middle of the park. Seamus Coleman plays a quick pass to Gray. He looks onside, although that's a difficult angle to say. Gray looks onside. He gets the better of Malacia, gets the cross in, and off the chest there of Calvert-Lewin. And it's 2-2. Luke, what do you think? Bit of a shock, that one.
Yeah, I think it was a... Oh,
wait a moment. The referee has... No, well, that was a VAR call. The referee has called offside, in fact. So we were getting all very excited. At least I was. And it's actually been ruled out for offside. That took a while for the decision to be made. I wonder whether it was the pass to Gray originally from Coleman that was determined to be offside based on the position of the free kick. I would say that is the case. Everton denied the equaliser due to the offside. So we are still at 2-1. And here is Malacia. Malacia goes back to Shaw. Shaw gives it to Rafael Varane. So Everton denied the lifeline there. And they're going to have to go at it again. Here's Fred. Fred gives the ball to Malacia. Malacia to Garnacho. Garnacho plays the ball back in field to Fred. Fred, long ball on the far side and is completely unmarked on the far side. There is Dallo. Dallo swings it in looking for Anthony. It's cleared, but only comes as far as Eriksson. Eriksson, thinking about the shot, changed his mind. Goes back over to the far side to Dallo. Dallo swings across in, headed away by Godfrey. Picked up by Cal. Oh, it's given away by Calvert-Lewin. And the cross comes in again. And there's Fernandez with the header across. He was looking for Rashford there, but he wasn't able to find him. The clearance away again is poor, but it's determined that there was a foul, fortunately for Everton there, because once again, they turned the ball over on the edge of their own penalty area. Luke, that was an interesting passage of play.
Yeah, neither side could really get hold of it. I mean, Manchester United were creating a little bit, but again, that didn't capitalise, and then Everton come over a free kick.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Oh, we're looking now at the offside, and it was in fact Gray that was offside by probably the length of his toenail. And another substitution for Manchester United. Lisandro Martinez has just come on, and Tyrell Malacia is off. Sneaky substitution there. Lisandro Martinez on. Tyrell Malacia is off, but we got it. All right, and the free kick will now be taken by Jordan Pickford. He's probably going to launch this long. That's the third substitution for Manchester United in this game. It's flicked on by Dominic Calvert-Lewin. He picks up his own rebound, actually. And here's Gray. Gray just trying to beat a couple of the Manchester United players, Fred being one of them. Fred forcing him out onto the touchline. The ball goes out of play. Off Fred, it will be a throw into Everton. Fred is protesting. Fred, why? It came off you. And he's now hurtling abuse at Coleman and at the official. Gray is trying to calm him down. And once again, infantile behaviour, Luke.
Yeah, it's not necessary, really. You just need to move on with the game.
Here's Doucouré now. Doucouré Gray almost won the ball back, but Manchester United are able to clear it. It's Rashford tries to play it off Cody, and Onana tries to win the ball. It does bounce nicely for Idrissa Gueye in the centre of the park, inside the centre circle. Idrissa Gueye just knocks it back to Connor Cody. His two goals, one at either end, are the difference in this game for Manchester United right now. The ball is over on the far side to Vitaly Mykolenko. Mykolenko. He's got some space in front of him. He gives it to Idrissa Gueye. Gueye shoots, but it is way over. And disappointing for Idrissa Gueye, Luke.
You're not going to score from that position. I mean, you gave us something extremely special, and that just was not it.
Yeah, that was just flew over the crossbar and did not trouble David De Gea one bit. Frank Lampard still is looking at his options. He's got Dwight McNeil there that he may bring on, the former Burnley player. He's not had a particularly happy time at Everton so far. So there's actually Dwight McNeil over there, and I'm not quite sure who the other one is. It might be Anthony Gordon. And it's picked up now in midfield by Rashford. Rashford just looking to get away from Onana. Oh, he wasn't successful. Onana got the block in. 13 attempts and 5 on target for Manchester United. 6 attempts and 4 on target for Everton. And the throw-in will be taken by Manchester United midway inside the Everton half of the field, and it's going to be Luke Shaw. There's 11 minutes left in this FA Cup third round tie. It's Manchester United 2, Everton 1. And here's Fred. Fred slips the ball out onto the far side to Eriksson. Eriksson to Anthony. Anthony again. He's got some space in front of him now as a Brazilian. He just drops it back to Eriksson. Anthony again. He's under pressure. Oh, brilliant work by Anthony. Just skips away from Mykolenko and Doucouré. Great work by him. And Eriksson now just gives the ball back there. And he leaves it now for Fred. Fred is dispossessed, and now Everton on the break with Idrissa Gueye. Knocks it out onto the far side to Gray, and the ball is knocked out of play by Dallo. It's going to be a throw into Everton, but what a move here, Luke, by Anthony. Just gets away, takes the two players out the game there. Decore, and that was great play by Anthony, Luke.
Superb play. I mean, if you ever want to see some kind of class play, that's the moment.
Seamus Coleman is coming off, and the number 10 is coming on, Anthony Gordon. So it's an attacking substitution. Coleman goes off, Gordon comes on. Dwight McNeil just left on the bench there, unless that's... Oh, he's on now, and it looks like he's on for Mikalenko. Yeah, so Vitaly Mikalenko is off, and Dwight McNeil is now on. So that's a double attacking substitution. Frank Lampard really going for it. I guess he has to now, Luke.
Yeah, he's basically just switched his wing backs and got a bit more attacking to see if he can get back into the game.
Well, that's the fourth substitution for Everton in this game. They are, of course, allowed one more. Actually, though, there has been the 3 attempts by Everton, so that will be their last substitution because of the 3 attempts that have been made. That is my understanding of the rules. And here's Ben Godfrey. Godfrey is dispossessed by Fred, and now Fred coming over the halfway line. Fred just knocks the ball to Rashford. Rashford now storming forward. Rashford, and he's stopped there right on the edge of the penalty area by James Tarkowski. That's great play by him. And here is Onana plays the ball long over on the far side, goes all the way to Anthony Gordon. Anthony Gordon just heads the ball down, and he gets the ball back off Ben Godfrey. Gordon cutting across the middle of the park, inside his own half. He may lose it here. He's got 3 Man United players around him. And here's Idrissa Gueye. Gives it to Onana. Onana on the far side now is Decore. Decore slips the ball to Dwight McNeil. McNeil pulls it back. Gray. Back to McNeil. McNeil's cross there, and it's headed away. And I think that was headed away by Fred. And Everton will start again now, back in their own half. Here's Dwight McNeil. Tries to play Gray in, but it bounces off Dallo, and it will be a throw-in to Manchester United. 2 more substitutions, and it's going to be Harry Maguire and Scott McTominay that are coming on now. So a bit of a defensive substitution. Ericsson will come off, being one. We'll just take a look at who the other one is coming off in a moment. That makes up the 5 substitutions for Manchester United. And just take a look. Ericsson just making his way over there. Applauding the crowd. And yes, it looks like Anthony is the other one. So Anthony and Ericsson off. Maguire and McTominay on. Your thoughts on that one, Luke?
Yeah, I've been impressed with Anthony tonight. I think he's done some great things on that side, and the Everton fullback couldn't cope with him. As for McTominay coming on for, I can't remember who was the one that went off.
Ericsson.
Ericsson. Yeah, again, I think they're probably shoring up the shop a little bit, trying not to concede and just go through.
All right. Well, in about 3 or 4 minutes' time, I'm going to ask you for your player of the match, and you might just want to let Nicholas know as well through the chat who your player of the match is, so he can put it on the screen. But I'll be asking you for that in about 3 or 4 minutes' time.
I'm still thinking.
Still thinking. Well, Harry Maguire is on the field now, and he's going to get his first touch of the ball. He's going to take this free kick for Manchester United midway inside the Manchester United half of the field. Erik ten Hag, got to be pleased with his day's work today. Here's Luke Shaw, and he goes all the way back to Raphael Varane. And Varane gives it to Harry Maguire, as it looks like Manchester United have gone to a back 3 now. And here is Dwight McNeil for Everton, just holding the ball up, and he gives it to Decore, who gives it to Onana. And he slips the ball. I'm just not quite sure who that is there. That looks like Cody, actually. That looks like Cody. Slipped the ball there. And here's Anthony Gordon, and it's Cody again. And Decore. Gray, back to Decore. And Doucouré just holding the ball up there, and he gets the ball back. Doucouré, this time off Godfrey. He's got a bit of space. Doucouré, can he swing the cross in? He pulls it back to Ben Godfrey. Ben Godfrey, oh, good work by Martinez there. That is excellent work, just shielding the ball out of play. Good defending there, Luke.
Yeah, terrific defending there from Martinez.
Yes, good work, just shielding the ball out of play. And you feel it's game management time now for Manchester United. They at this stage they are looking like they're going to hold on. Of course, I don't want to speak too soon and rule Everton out, because although they really haven't created much in the second half, we saw just how easily that can change with the disallowed goal. David De Gea with the goal kick, and it's just headed out of play by Ben Godfrey. Okay, Luke, would you care to name your player of the match today, sponsored by Commentary Services?
Marcus Rashford.
Marcus Rashford. And why Rashford, Luke?
I think he's been dangerous every time he's got into that channel, and he also created the 2 goals.
Here he is now. Rashford cuts inside, and he wins the corner off Conor Cody. That's a great move again by Rashford. And what we saw there with Rashford just highlighted your point in giving him player of the match. He's been getting into these dangerous positions, as you said, and he was also involved in both goals. And I have to say, if the choice was mine, I might have gone with Rashford as well. So it will be a corner to Manchester United, as Rashford there just played it off Conor Cody. Fortunately for Conor Cody, it went on the other side of the post this time. And the corner to be taken by Bruno Fernandes. United loading up the 6-yard box. They've gone for the short one this time. Fernandes just switches in. The crossing was a poor one, and it was headed away by Tarkowski. And Manchester United win it back. That's a very late and dangerous challenge. And the yellow card comes out, and that'll go to Onana, I believe. That really was late.
I have to admit, Amadou Onana is one of the latest tacklers I have ever seen. I mean, if I was any later, it'd have been in the next match, in the previous match.
Well, I have to say, I'm looking at that again and again, Luke, and the more I look at it, the more it looks like that could have gone. He perhaps maybe a little bit lucky to get away with just a yellow there. The studs were up, but yellow card it is, and it'll be a free kick to Manchester United. We got Fernandes, Rashford over this, and you got to think Rashford might be the favourite for this. Pickford desperately trying to organise his wall, and I guess he's feeling like this Everton defence are not listening to him. I mean, just looking at his reaction there. But over this one, it looks like it might be Rashford. And also Fernandes is there as well now. He's stepped into position, so it might well be Fernandes. The wall in front of him there, in front of the wall is Maguire. Obviously hoping to confuse that wall a little bit. Looks like it's Rashford, and just over the crossbar, not a million miles away. It looks like Pickford got a touch on it. Might have been going over anyway, but that was close, Luke.
It was close to Pickford. I mean, he had to get the touch on it, because I think it was just about level with the top of the goal. But again, it was right on top of Jordan Pickford, so really needed a bit more curl.
Yeah, it's a close chance though for Manchester United. Rashford coming close to scoring himself there, and the corner is going to be taken now. I'm just not quite sure who it was over there on the far side. It's taking that corner. It's outswung anyway to Fred. Fred gets a shot away, but that's easily dealt with. And it was Onana that cleared that ball away. And James Tarkowski challenging up there with Shaw. The ball breaks loose to Rafael Varane, and he gives the ball to Fernandes. Fernandes just trying to get away from Onana. McNeil steals in now. Good work by him. McNeil slips the ball to Doucouré. Back to Onana. Actually, that's Idrissa Gueye. He gives the ball to Onana. And it's back to Idrissa Gueye. as we approach stoppage time now. You have to wonder how long. We've had a fairly long stoppage with Iwobi's injury. And so you do wonder whether perhaps, yes, it's 6 minutes stoppage time. Anthony Gordon plays the ball forward. It's now with Doucouré. Doucouré back to Gray. Gray in the penalty area. He cuts across. Gray gets a shot away, but it's a comfortable save by David De Gea. Just gets down to his left-hand side. Do you think that was the right decision by Gray to shoot, Luke, or might have been better crossing that in?
I think you got to put that in the mixer because I mean, unless you go on the other side with a bit of height, that you're not going to beat David De Gea with a shot like that.
Here is Onana. Onana plays the ball across to Atrissa Gay, and he goes to McNeil over on that left-hand side, and McNeil just drops it back to Gay. Gay has the ball again, and he gives it to McNeil. Let's see what McNeil can do with it now. He's got Dalla in front of him, and he tries to get the cross in, but Dalla gets his foot in the way, and that goes behind for an Everton corner. Well, we've already played 1 minute of stoppage time. Frank Lampard looks to the sky. He's played all of his hand now. I don't think he can make another substitution at this stage. He's had 3 attempts. He's made 4 overall. And the corner will be taken by Demarai Gray. Demarai Gray is gonna swing this one in. And just waiting for the options here. It is swung in by Demarai Gray, and it goes all the way through to Ben Godfrey. Godfrey wasn't expecting it. He crosses it back in, still bouncing around, and it goes behind for a goal kick. Well, I don't believe that Ben Godfrey was expecting this. So then when he did launch it back in, he was looking for Doucouré. It actually bounced off McTominay. That should have been a corner.
Wow.
Thoughts, Luke?
Like, how can you give a goal kick from that when it clearly strikes the red shirt, not the blue shirt? Like, really? Like, wow.
Yeah, that should have been a corner. That was fairly clear. And the goal kick by De Gea as United get away with one there. Garnacho now closing down on Pickford, but the ball goes through to England's #1 goalkeeper, and he just pulls it and slips the ball out as now the ball is played forward, but United do win the ball back, and here's Scott McTominay, and he slips the ball through to Rashford. Rashford now, let's see what he can do with it. Oh, what a superb tackle by Ben Godfrey. My word, that was a challenge of the game. That was a tackle of the game right there. That was absolutely superb, and he had to get it absolutely spot on. Luke, what did you think?
Absolutely brilliant tackle. I mean, if Ben Godfrey hadn't made that tackle, that was going to probably be 3-1.
And now the corner is to be taken by Fernandes. He takes it short, just drops it to Rashford, who plays it off Anthony Gordon. And United now just playing this game to its conclusion. Frank Lampard, he wears the look of a haunted man, Luke. One can't help but feel sorry for him. Fernandes now will again take his time, and he'll just play it short to Rashford. And once again, Rashford just plays it out to Fred. Fred just gives it to Shaw. Shaw back to Dalot. Dalot plays the ball long. Oh, it's brought down well by Fernandes. Oh, well, he had a clear shot on goal. He brought that down brilliantly. Unfortunately, the finish wasn't quite as good, Luke.
Brilliant takedown, poor shot. I mean, you've just got to retain the ball and manage the game, and you're just giving Everton back the ball.
Well, that was a nice takedown. He obviously saw the goal and thought chance to score, but the finish wasn't there at all. And here is Doucouré. Doucouré, very strong on the ball, but he's actually muscled off by Scott McTominay on this occasion. McTominay battling to keep possession of the ball for Manchester United. He slips it to Fred, who gives it to Bruno Fernandes. And he sets Garnacho away. Garnacho got a bit of space in front of him. Can he get? Oh, he goes down, and the referee gives a penalty. And it's a penalty for Manchester United. The foul by Ben Godfrey on Garnacho. And this is an opportunity now for Manchester United to seal this game. Well, let's take a look at it again. And I'm going to get Luke's thoughts in a minute. Well, yeah, it looks like there's contact, Luke. Looks like a penalty to me. What's your thoughts, my friend?
You just don't need to do that sort of tackle at this point in the game. I mean, yeah, it's a penalty. I mean, you just can't do that now, and it's silly. After doing a brilliant tackle a minute before, that's silly.
And it looks like it's going to be Marcus Rashford. And Marcus Rashford is going to step up to take this. Pickford coming off the line to try to intimidate Rashford a bit. I don't think that's going to faze him. Rashford, a very experienced player. He's been absolutely outstanding today, and he's going to step up and take this penalty. And he just takes a couple of deep breaths. This to send United through to the 4th round of the FA Cup. Rashford waits. And he steps up. And he sends Pickford the wrong way into the left corner. And Manchester United are going through to the 4th round of the FA Cup. And they heap the misery on Frank Lampard and Everton. And, well, it's it's been another miserable display, especially in the second half, Luke, by Everton. They just haven't created enough. They haven't been positive enough. And I have to say, this scoreline does not flatter Manchester United in any way.
Well, Everton haven't had any belief that they could get into the game. I mean, all right, they have one goal disallowed, but apart from that, they've done absolutely nothing. I mean, De Gea's not really had a save to make. He's caught the ball and he's got down to a couple of shots, but they weren't actually saves. And it's also been a little bit too easy.
Yeah, I agree with you. The game is back underway now, and I feel the referee will blow up any minute. Indeed, he does. It's full time, and Manchester United, with a second half own goal by Connor Cody on 52 minutes and a stoppage time penalty kick in the last minute of stoppage time, has given Manchester United a 3-1 win and a passage through to the 4th round of the FA Cup. For Frank Lampard, the misery continues, the threat of his job, the concern for Everton fans about their future in the Premier League. It's full time here. It's Manchester United 3, Everton 1. Luke, give us your closing thoughts on this game.
Well, it started off where I thought that Everton just couldn't pass the ball, and the distribution from Pickford was poor. Then obviously Man United went and scored that brilliant counter-attacking goal. Then it went a little bit like a mismatch, and Everton equalised through Connor Cody. And then it petered out towards half-time with Manchester United having a bit more to play. Second half was totally dominated by Manchester United. Everything I said going into the second half about Everton needing to get some belief, creating some chances, feeling like it's a cup tie and there's nothing to lose. Well, to be quite honest, there was absolutely nothing. There literally was nothing from Everton. There was no reaction, and Man United deserved to come out 3-1 winners. I mean, I'd be very, very, very concerned if I was an Everton fan with where this goes next, because those players play in the Premier League. They are their probably first team, and they didn't look that capable of creating chances or scoring goals.
Well, you can already see the images on my monitor of Everton fans putting their protest signs out at Old Trafford in relation to the ownership and the board here. A sad day for Everton. Manchester United go through to the fourth round of the FA Cup with a 3-1 victory. Nick, back to you.
Thanks, Paul. Just when you thought things couldn't get worse for Everton, they do. And Manchester United, yes, despite winning the game 3-1, the game was kind of mediocre in some respects. I mean, Manchester United only won 3-1 just because Rashford got his penalty at the end. Not really much to talk about. Anyway, but before we go, well, we're just about out of time. But just before we go, a couple of games coming up tomorrow to do with a couple of third round games coming up tomorrow to do with the couple of third round games coming up tomorrow at 5:30. It's Coventry City against Wrexham with myself on the microphone. And Ross Vernon will also be doing Sheffield Wednesday against Newcastle United. Sheffield against Newcastle. Wednesday against Newcastle will be on the majority of the channels, but Coventry against Wrexham will be on the Commentary Hub 2 only. And I forgot to mention that Sheffield Wednesday against Newcastle is at 6 o'clock. So that's it. So that's it from all of us. Join us again tomorrow. Have a great rest of your Friday. Until tomorrow, good night.